Okay, this is Emma Moulton's CIS classmate interview 2. And for the interview, I interviewed my classmate Gabby Torres. And Gabby and I have talked before in class, so I figured I would interview her because I see a lot of similarities with our life at UK and what we're involved in. So I thought that this would be a really interesting conversation and that we could talk about our academic goals and career aspirations because I thought that we had a lot of things that would probably align with each other. So when I asked her about her academic abilities, as far as like her skills, grade completion, and assignment completion, like how well she does at turning things in and on tests and that kind of thing, she said as far as her academic abilities, she would say she's good at getting her assignments done on time and doing a decent job on them. Her study skills aren't the best because she's a crammer, so she's always busy. Which I could relate to this in some ways because, well, I'm actually kind of the opposite, I guess, where I'm really bad at remembering my assignments. I still write them down in a notebook and usually check every day, but for whatever reason, that's the easiest thing for me to let slip up, whereas I'm a lot more focused on tests, projects, quizzes. Those are really what I am usually on top of. So she said she's a crammer because she's always busy, which I can also relate to this. We're both involved in sorority, which we talk about later on. But I can relate to cramming a lot, and that's something that we both agree that if we could work on, that we could be a lot more successful academically. And then I also asked her about her social activities, extracurricular, how she builds relationships, and her effective social environments. So her response was that for social activities, she's an 80 pie and she lives in the house. So she's constantly around people and has a lot of healthy relationships with them. She said she's also on the Panhellenic Committee for Diversity and Inclusion, where they brainstorm ways to make the Panhellenic community a more open and accepting environment. She recently won a position in UK's undergraduate senate, so she'll be working with students and faculty. She was also offered a position to be an RA next year, so she'll be a mentor to incoming students and help make them have a comfortable, safe, and enjoyable college experience. So Gabby is so far a lot more involved than I am, but we relate on a level that I'm also in a sorority and I do have really great relationships with the other women that are in my chapter. I really would like to get more involved within my chapter and within just the Panhellenic community because that's like all of it as a whole. So I think that Gabby would be a great resource for me to do that because she's clearly very involved on campus and especially with Panhellenic. I then also asked her about her major, and she said that she is a neuroscience major and she has an interest in medical school. And she really likes studying the brain and nervous system, which I can relate to because, well, I was previously in nursing and I changed to public health, but I still have a very strong interest in this. She's a political science minor because she's also interested in law. So I thought it was really interesting because we both were interested in kind of the same medical things. However, she wants to take it in a different direction than I do, where I want to be in kind of the sales aspect and she wants to be more in a doctor position. She said that Ohio State is one of the schools that offers the program she wants for MD-JD program, which is a joint practice law and medicine degree. And so that's her career aspiration, basically. And she said she's a little bit unsure about it, but she's very dedicated and really looking forward to her career in the future. And she said she's not really sure if she has a mentor. She's a very competitive person and has strong views on what she should do. She likes to study and do homework alone because that's how she thinks it should be. So she said that the people around her encourage her and push her to get better grades and be more involved, and those are her mentors. And I can agree and relate very closely with that because I'm someone who does not do well really working with other people, not because I don't get along with them, but I just learn better when I'm the one who actually has to find out the information and teach myself. So studying with people is something I do on like the night before the test. It's not when I'm really learning the information like a week in advance. So Gabby and I can both relate to that kind of aspect, and that kind of helped me realize that that is something that's normal, and I shouldn't be like afraid to tell people that I can't work with them just because that's what works best for me. So we both have a very similar learning style as well, and the way that we are able to do well academically is very similar. And then I asked her about a faculty member who really cares about her, and she said a faculty member that she feels truly cares is Conrad Davies. However, she says everyone's going to use him because he's the bomb. So instead, she says Kim Woodrum. She was our chem teacher last semester, and she had a genuine care for students and was hands down one of the best teachers she's ever had in her life. She absolutely adored her and had no idea what she'd do without such an amazing professor. Um, I don't relate to that at UK with the chem professor. Obviously, Mr. Davies, you're awesome. But my chemistry teacher in high school was like that for me. And he was my brother's basketball coach. So we were very close. And he was a mentor to me because chem at first was something I absolutely hated until I finished his class because he really taught me how to work hard and to not give up. And I learned so much about chemistry that kind of influenced me to go into a medical career because I knew that was a big part of it. And so I took chemistry last semester. And because of all the things that I learned in high school from that teacher, I was able to do well. And I even sent him an email this year to let him know like just how much he had impacted me. So overall, Gabby and I were able to relate about a lot of things, academically, socially, like our involvement and such. And I think that what really helped me about our conversation was knowing that there are people with similar learning styles as me. And it was just really ironic that Gabby and I ended up having very similar learning styles and interests, such as medical aspirations and also being involved with sorority and such, and the ways that we study. So I think that it was really helpful to understand that about somebody else and to kind of put together a better idea for myself that I should be keep doing what I'm doing because it works for other people who feel the same way too. So I think overall we had a really great conversation and I was really pleased with how it went.